This article by Shiv R. Pal is on the prominence of sulfur in the lunar soil detected by the Pragyaan Rover of the Indian Space Research Organisation ISRO. The article is an extract from the chapter 10 of this author's book cited below, The Vedic Big Bang, a new cosmology scenario revealed in the Ancient Veda Mantras of India, Volume 1 and 2. Dear viewers and listeners, welcome to the YouTube Lecture 10 under the Vedic Big Bang by Shiv R. Pal. This lecture presents a unique set of astronomy observations of the lunar surface recorded in the distant past of the Vedic civilization millennia upon millennia ago. Subject of the lecture: Chandrayaan 3 detects prominent presence of sulphur in the lunar soil. Question: where did sulphur come from in the lunar soil? Answer: several Vedic rishis, the scholarly sages of the Vedas, recorded in their treatises eons ago that the black substance spread on the moon is from the Prithivya Hridayam, that is, from the heart of the earth or from the interior of the earth. The implication of these Vedic references is that a cataclysmic terrestrial volcano dumped lava on the lunar surface, forming mare, and that it is this black substance of the Vedic references that was the sulfur-laden terrestrial lava detected by the Pragyaan Rover. References include several ancient Vedic rishis and their records in their treatises. The Indian Space Research Organisation ISRO successfully launched the third version of the unmanned lunar probe named Chandrayaan 3. The probe soft-landed on August 23, 2023 at a desired location near the south pole of the moon. The term Chandrayaan is formed by conjoining two Sanskrit words, Chandra and Yaan. Together it means the moon vehicle. The vehicle's lander is named Vikram after Dr. Vikram Sarabhai, the first chairman of ISRO, and the vehicle's rover is named Pragyaan, one with special knowledge. The Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi, named the landing site of Chandrayaan 3 as the Shiv Shakti Point. The Pragyaan rover went into operation soon after landing. A photo of the Vikram lander taken by the Pragyaan rover on the lunar surface is shown in the following. After landing at the desired location on the moon, the Pragyaan rover worked hard for 11 days on pre-planned experiments and measurements. It transmitted hordes of new data to the command center at ISRO, reporting new discoveries. Based on Pragyaan's discoveries, the ISRO research team announced an unexpected surprise: the presence of sulfur in the lunar soil, and expressed amazement. Where did it come from? Dr. Nilesham Desai, director of SAC, the Space Applications Center of ISRO, said that the sulfur in the lunar soil is known to exist, but not so prominently. He said that the sulfur on the moon is visible in a very prominent way. The fact that the ISRO scientists announced its presence in the lunar soil with a surprise indicates that the Pragyaan detected much more sulfur in the lunar soil than expected. The question remains, where did the sulfur come from in the lunar soil? The most ancient observations made by different Vedic rishis who placed them on record in their treatises resolve the sulfur mystery of the lunar soil in a unique way. To the best of this author's knowledge, no contemporary lunar physicist has suggested an explanation that the ancient rishis have put forward. In this presentation, all references from the Vedic literature are millennia beyond the well-established time milestone in the Vedic civilization at 3140 BCE. This time milestone pertains to the coronation of Emperor Yudhishthir when a calendar in his name was also launched. Consistent records in this calendar do exist even this day in several temples. The detailed historical analysis in the chapter 3 of this author's book establishes several time milestones in the Vedic history. A brief analysis on the historicity of the time milestones is also in the YouTube lecture 9 under the web address noted in the following. The ancient Vedic rishis generally stated a qualifier in their conclusions of their writings as iti hai vijjayate. This Sanskrit statement means this is understood from Vigyaan. The term Vigyaan means science. Obviously, they dealt with science. Such an unequivocal endorsement from the scholarly rishis behooves the contemporary scholars to respectfully acknowledge their contribution and carefully study what the rishis have stated. The contribution of the Vedic rishis is immense. They observed science phenomena, recorded their discoveries, formulated the mantras and the sutras in the realms of science and philosophy, and wrote voluminous treatises millennia ago that are still available in print for us to study. When one dives deeper into the Vedic ocean of knowledge, one learns that the subject of physics permeates through the mantras and the sutras. The rishis in the ancient times have made many observations and drawn deductions about the Chandrama, the moon. After all, they derived the meaningful Sanskrit term Chandrama and the other numerous synonyms of the moon. A detailed discussion on Chandrama within the physics reference frame, no Hindu mythology there, is in the pages 651 to 654 and 685 to 710, chapter 10, volume 2, of this author's recently published book by Kindle Direct Publishing of Amazon entitled The Vedic Big Bang, a New Cosmology Scenario Revealed in the Ancient Veda Mantras of India, Volume 1-2 by Shiv R. Pal. To resolve the sulphur mystery in the lunar soil, this author presents 4 ancient references from the Vedic literature. Based on these ancient references, the discovery of more sulphur than expected at the Shiv Shakti point near the south pole of the moon should not be a surprise, and the query, where did it come from, should be self-explanatory. The real surprise should be that it is of terrestrial origin, went from the Earth to the Moon in a powerful volcanic eruption on the Earth that dumped enormous amount of sulfur-laden volcanic lava on the Moon. The dark lunar areas named Mare received the bulk of it. The following 4 Vedic references reveal the lunar sulphur mystery. The 4 references from the Vedic literature presented here are from 4 different ancient books written by different authors, rishis, at different epochs of time in the far antiquity of the Vedic civilization. The reference one from Yajurveda establishes that the moon does not emit its own light, it only reflects the sunlight. The rest 3 references are under a title assigned by the rishis as the black substance on the surface of the moon. The context and the emphasis in these references are different. One reference emphasizes the process and the other emphasizes the source of the black substance on the moon. The Rishi of the Yajurveda mantra 18/40 from the second Veda states Sushumnaha Surya Rashmish Chandrama Gandharva. The translation, analysis and interpretation of the full mantra by Swami Dayanand Saraswati is in the Yajurveda Bhashya published in 1889. The translation of the relevant part of the mantra is the moon is Gandharva, one having the garment made of solar spectrum, owing to the Sushumna rays of the sun on the moon. The implication in the mantra is that the light from the moon is not its own. The moon is lit by a Veda-defined specific part of the solar spectrum named Sushumna. By the way, the ancient Vedic names of the 7 colors, Saptarashmi, in the solar spectrum are in the table 11.5a, and the 15 synonyms for the term Surya Rashmi, which is solar ray, each name representing a specific property or 2 are in the table 11.5b of this author's book cited above. Several other references in the ancient Vedic literature establish the fact that the moon is not a Jyotish Krid, not a self-illumined object like the sun. Therefore, the moon's brightness is its external garment of light, a Gandharva. If the Vedic rishis were knowledgeable of the fact that the lunar light was the sun's light reflected from the lunar surface, their assertion that the black substance on the lunar surface was of terrestrial origin should be considered seriously. It is this black substance that is rich in sulphur, as detected by the Pragyaan rover. The Mantra Brahmana 1/5/13, the Brahmana commentary book of the third Veda, the Samveda, states, Yadadas Chandramasi Krishnam Prathibhya Hridayam Shritam. This Brahmana statement presents one of the most ancient observations in astronomy. Its translation is, that black substance on the surface of the moon is there from the heart of the earth's interior. It is abundantly clear from this statement in the Mantra Brahmana that the origin of the black substance on the lunar surface is the interior of the earth. It is the terrestrial volcano that deposited lava on the surface of the moon with abundance of sulphur in it, which is now found by the Pragyaan rover. Rishi Titir, in his Taittiriya Samhita 5/2/3 states, Yadasya yajyamasit tadadas chandramasi krishnam. The details on this are on page 706 of this author's book, volume 2. The translation of this statement is, the yajya matter, the hot burning matter of the dew, the brilliant space surrounding the sun, was placed on the earth, and the earth's yajya matter was placed on the moon, which is the black substance of the moon. This mysterious statement on the celestial matter exchange further emphasizes the black substance on the moon, that it was hot, that is yajya. A powerful terrestrial volcanic eruption under special conditions could not be ruled out. The presence of sulphur in the Chandrayaan 3 data further supports the same possibility. Yet another ancient book from the distant past, by another rishi in a different epoch of time, makes a statement about the black substance on the surface of the moon. Rishi Madhyandin, in his Shatpath Brahman 1/3/3/18 and 19, the commentary book on the second Veda, the Yajurveda, states, in a context of the celestial matter transfer, Devaha vai sangramam prathibhya anamritam tadetat chandramasi krishnam. The translation of this statement is, the nature's forces were in battle to transfer matter, one that is poisonous for the earth was put on the moon. That poisonous matter is the black substance on the moon. Rishi Madhyandin, in his Shatpath Brahmana statement cited above 1/3/3/18 and 19, characterizes the black substance on the moon as being poisonous. We also know for a fact that the substances emitted in a volcano are poisonous. These Vedic references variously create an opportunity for the lunar physicists to explore the ancient geological history of the Earth-Moon system from a new perspective and resolve the mystery of the dark lunar mare as well. Considerable discussion on this subject is included in this author's book cited earlier. The Vedic proposition on the black substance covering the lunar surface certainly opens up a new possibility in the lunar physics research. There is a possibility for ascertaining the effect of this matter exchange on the lunar orbit. For that, a lunar physicist is to first find the possibility of a terrestrial volcano of cataclysmic proportions that could have dumped sulphur-rich lava on the moon. If the Vedic premise holds true, that the spread out black substance on the lunar surface is the terrestrial lava, it must have exclusively fallen on the front side, the earth side of the moon, left photo, and none on its back side, right photo. It is obvious from NASA's synoptic pictures of the moon as shown here that most of the black substance is on the near side, earth side of the moon. Lunar physicists estimate that the black lunar mare covers about 31% of the earth side of the moon and negligibly small about 1% of the far side of the moon. This would lend credence to the observations of the Vedic rishis about the black substance Chandramasi Krishnam on the moon. To explain the blackening of the lunar surface, some modern lunar physicists have speculated that for some unknown reason the moon's orbit dipped closer to the Earth, below the Roche limit of 17,839 kilometers, which is 2.8 Earth radii from the center of the Earth. The gravitational coupling between the Earth and the Moon at such proximity would generate tremendous tidal forces, heating and singeing the lunar crust. For this to happen, the Moon dips below the Roche limit only momentarily and recedes quickly before exploding. There are several uncertainties about this hypothesis. It is not clear as to what would push the moon down, what would let it graze exactly at the Roche limit, no less, no more, and what would push it back up into a safe zone. All these factors are extremely critical for the viability of the singeing or scorching of the moon. Conclusions. There is substantial evidence in the Vedic references presented here that relate to the terrestrial volcanic origin of the black lunar mare. It is a possibility that the sulphur detected by the Pragyaan rover is of terrestrial origin. The terrestrial volcano would dump lava on the front side of the Moon. A comparison between the two sides of the Moon suggests a significant difference in the spread of the mare. If not a terrestrial volcanic dump, what would discriminately tarnish the front side of the Moon? The asymmetric distribution of the dark mare discounts any singeing of the lunar crust. More discussion is in the author's book. This author thinks that the Vedic rishis may have the answer. Thank you. My lecture 8 on the YouTube and a detailed discussion in these pages of my book cited above furnishes much more information on this subject. All 10 lectures are on the following YouTube site here. These lectures on the YouTube deal with other physics subjects in the Veda mantras. Thank you.